Are you a parent wondering how to start saving for your child's future? Perhaps you've heard about junior ISAs and junior pension, but you don't know where to start. In this video, I'll break down what these are, why they matter, and how you can get started confidently. Hi, I'm Yemi, your financial coach and guide to smart money decisions. If you want practical advice on investing and securing your financial future, you are in the right place. If you want to get a solid grasp on the basics of investing like ETFs, index funds, and key terms, I have a detailed video on that topic. You can watch it by clicking the link above or in the description below. Let's dive into how you can start saving specifically for your child's future with junior ISAs and junior SIPPs. I've spent some time researching the best ways parents can secure their children's financial future. Today, I promise to give you a clear, simple guide on junior ISAs and junior pensions so you know exactly what to expect. In this video, we will cover what a junior ISA is and its benefits. We will also look at what a junior pension or junior SIPP involves, how to decide which one might be right for your family, where to open these accounts, and key things to watch out for. First things first, a junior ISA is a tax-efficient savings account for children under the age of 18. You can contribute up to £9,000 a year, currently in the year 2025-2026. And this is without the child paying tax on any growth or interest. Another good thing about junior ISA is the fact that friends, families, grandparents can contribute into this. So this is a great way for other people to contribute into their future. Money saved in junior ISA is locked away until your child turns 18, at which point it becomes theirs to use however they wish. Now, a question many parents ask is what happens when their children turns 18 and gains full control over their junior ISA. The truth is, at 18, they can choose to spend that money however they want, which can understandably feel a bit worrying. For me, what I do to balance this is I stopped putting large sums into the junior ISAs. Instead, I use a neat feature on my Trading 212 account where I created separate pies named after my children. This way, it is still technically my account, giving me more control over how the money is invested and used. I do this alongside contributing to the junior ISA, especially because I'm not maxing out my own personal ISA allowance. This approach helps me feel more comfortable knowing that I can guide their investment while still building their financial future. It's a great way to build a financial foundation for things like university, first home, or even their own investment later. A junior pension, on the other hand, often called a junior SIPP, is a pension account opened on behalf of your child. The key benefit here is that government adds a 20% tax top-up to every contribution you make, which boosts your savings instantly. Like any regular pension, the money is locked away until the child turns 55 or later. So it's a long-term savings vehicle designed for retirement rather than immediate expenses. So choosing between the two depends on your goals. If you want accessible savings for education or a home deposit, a junior ISA might be best. If you're focused on long-term retirement security, a junior pension gives your child a huge advantage with the tax boost. Some families even use both, balancing accessible funds with long-term growth. You can open junior ISAs and junior pensions with platforms like Hargreaves Lansdown, AJ Bell, or Fidelity. I personally use Hargreaves Lansdown for my children's junior ISA. This is because they don't charge fees on junior ISAs, therefore keeping costs low. When opening account, watch out for fees, minimum contributions, and the ease of use of the platform. Also remember to review investments with these accounts regularly as your child grows. It's recommended to review it once in a year. Quick reminder, this video shares what I have learned and my personal experience. It's not a financial advice, so please do your research and speak to a financial advisor if you are unsure. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe below so you don't miss my next video about choosing the best Vanguard ETF and index funds, where I'll be breaking down how to choose the best funds to grow your wealth confidently. If you have any questions or topics you want me to cover, drop a comment below, and don't forget to share this video with other parents who want to secure their children's financial future. Let's keep building financial freedom together.